So going in, I feel like me and the rest of the group had this idea that Arcosanti is an urban laboratory, or at least that's what we heard, and I don't think anyone really knew what that meant. And after being there for 10 days, for me it was really about community, and it was really art-based. So I'd say it was like an art-based community that was centered around architecture and really working with your hands. And the laboratory definitely came into the picture when you looked at it on a broader scope. Well, I heard about it, I think at Temple Fest, and it just looked really cool. I'd never been to Arizona before. I wanted to meet some new people because I was a transfer student, and so I took it to meet some people, see the Southwest, and the coursework seemed really interesting. I did some research on Dr. Backer and Dr. Murphy, and I really was impressed with their credentials. Well, ecology is really in your face there because it's in the middle of the desert. You can't really escape the fact that you are not in an urban setting, even though they call it an urban laboratory. Media and technology are really brought in by the course. I'd say with Dr. Backer and Dr. Murphy's lectures, they really focus on how media is involved in this day and age with places like Arcosanti, and how the technology of the architecture is brought into the picture. So on the days that we didn't go on any excursions or anything, I would wake up really early, I would go out and see the sunrise because they were always amazing, get breakfast, go to the lecture. After the lecture, we'd have pretty much the whole day to do as we pleased. So I would maybe spend some time with my classmates working on the final project, and then go on a hike, come back for lunch, hang out with the locals and the peers. After that, I personally really love nature, so I'd go back out on a hike, but some people would just hang out. Then we'd all come together for dinner and have a movie screening after that, and typically go out and watch the stars. So it was a very simple, slowed down way of life. We had a lot of free time to reflect on ourselves and each other and what we're doing. So the course was really simple. We'd have lectures almost every morning except for the days that we went on excursions to Biosphere 2 or the Grand Canyon. They would be an hour and a half or so, and they would be really tied into views on the earth, environmentalism, how Arcosanti ties into that, how the history of Arcosanti has impacted the environmental mindset in that area. But then the other half of the course was really just an experiential thing. For me, it was like hiking into the desert, going to the Grand Canyon, hearing talks from the people that have lived there for 30, 40 years, and just getting to know the locals who have lived there maybe only for a month or a year or two. So I had the multimedia scholarship. Essentially, I did an Instagram takeover for 3 days of the trip where I would just fill up my story with whatever we were doing day in and day out. I was introducing my classmates, the locals, reviewing our experiences. And then I did a blog post, and I focused on the Native American presence there. So I kind of asked around to see if anyone knew anything about the Native and if they found any parallels between Arcosanti culture and Native culture, and I just blogged about that. So the advantages of it being only a week long, I'd say were it really kept you invigorated. There was a point towards the end of the trip where I started getting set into the ways of being there, but it kept you in this like state of I need to be really enthusiastic about everything and I need to try everything. I don't have time to waste. So I really took in a lot because it was such a short time. I think my favorite memory was the first time we had just gotten to the Grand Canyon, and it was kind of funny because we were like walking along the path that lines the rim of it, and we'd be talking, and then we'd look, and we'd all like catch ourselves. We'd be staring at the Grand Canyon like you can't look away for like 30 seconds, and then we'd be like, snap back to reality. So that was pretty cool. And hiking into the Grand Canyon. Dr. Murphy hiked with me and 2 other of our classmates 2 miles into the canyon. It was a lot of fun. What I got out of the program was a lot of independence, and it broke me out of my mold that I feel like I've been in for a long time. Meeting a lot of new people, seeing a lot of new places, grew my perspective in general on life, left me feeling more enthusiastic about my day-to-day life and my personal career. And also reminded me, because it was such a short time, that you can live your life that way. You don't have to wait, you don't have to waste your time. So it inspired me to make some big changes for the coming semesters. If you like the outdoors, you like learning about environmentalism, if you like people, then this is a great program. It's really accessible for pretty much anyone. The amount of different personalities in just the Temple group alone is staggering, and the fact that we walked away all being great friends, all wanting to be around each other, all being really sad that it ended, just speaks to the fact that there's no worries if you're anxious about embarking on a new journey like that.